Today, we're in a holiday setting. See the little, Also, I'm at my sister's house, pet sitting, which is why you hear a dog in the background. Zoe, chill. The dog has no chill, by the way. But we're going to talk about writing resolutions, the kind that you'll actually keep, not the ones about going to the gym every day. So stick around, ignore my sister's dog, and let's talk about ways that you can improve your writing and boost your career in 2026. Hey there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, and I swear I don't live with a dog, except my sister had some surgery and I'm pet sitting for her. So I always thought that it was cats. You know, there's even the expression herding cat. No, this dog. And she's sweet. She's adorable. She's lovely. Anyway, hi. It's the holidays. See? Holiday stuff. And I'm in a whole new studio. This is my sister's dining room. I am, in addition to pet sitter extraordinaire, I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books and the author of over 40 novels, including several series like The Black Knight Chronicles, Bubba the Monster Hunter, or Quincy Harker Demon Hunter, among other things. And today I want to talk to you about writing resolutions that you can keep. We're not going to set any crazy word count goals for the year. We're not going to set any crazy daily word count goals. We're not even going to say, I will write every day. We are going to set reasonable, reachable goals that will help you advance your skill and your career. I promise these things will help. If you are at a stuck point getting your work forward, this may help you break through. If you're trying to figure out how to make more money, these tips will help. But let's dive right in with number one, which sounds a little like something that if you've got any kind of writers on your social media, they're all going to be posting their resolutions and they're all going to start updating their daily word count, and guaranteed you'll have that one friend who every day is, I did 4,000 words today. I did 6,000 words today. I am typity person. And if you're not that person that can generate that kind of word count, spoiler, I'm not that person who can consistently generate that word count, not and have it be any good, then those kinds of updates from your friends can actually hurt your productivity. So instead of trying to say, I will write 2,000 words every day, I will write 10,000 words every week, I will write something every week. Something. Maybe it's a sentence. Maybe it's a page. Maybe it's a paragraph. Maybe it's 2,000 words. Write something. If you aren't published and you haven't sold work that's on deadline, you don't have to hurry. Write at a pace you can sustain. And you may not know what that pace is yet. Take your time. Just saying you'll write something is better than trying to A, set an unreasonable goal, or B, not setting a goal at all. I did a panel at DragonCon a few years ago with Eric Flint. God rest him, we miss you, Eric. And someone asked, what's your word count for the day? And I said that when I'm cooking, when I'm really rocking along, about 2,000 words a day is what I do. And then it was Eric's turn to speak, and he said 1. And I looked at him, and I was like, what is this little man in the odd little hat trying to say? And he did explain himself. He said, my goal, my absolute requirement is I must write one word. Because when I write the first word, the second one usually follows, and then the third, and then I've written a sentence, and then I've written a paragraph, and then I've written a couple of pages, and then I've written 1,000 words, or 2,000 words, or 5,000 words. But my word count goal for every day is one. And some days, one is all I get. I was impressed by that, as with many things with Eric Flint, because it made sense. And that's what this resolution will help you do. It will help you make sense of a nonsensical career, and it will give you a goal that you can stick to. Because New Year's resolutions are ridiculous often. I have made so many exercise and weight loss and dietary resolutions in my career, and well, you can kind of see, even in a chest up frame, you can kind of see how that's working out for me. It's working out about like I work out. It ain't. So keep your goals manageable. And that's what all of these resolutions and goals will be. They're trying to be manageable and things that you can keep and things that are easy to surpass, things that will get you that dopamine hit and, ooh, I wrote my one word and now I know the next word and the next and that, and then you got a book. Numero dos. I will read one book a month in a genre that I am writing in or interested in writing in. Too often I hear from unpublished or fledgling writers, I don't read anything in the genres that I'm working in because I don't want it to pollute my ideas. I don't want it to pollute my creativity. Let me break it to you, sunshine. You ain't that original. You're really not. Somebody's written your idea. Someone's written it better than you. Someone's probably written it worse than you. 10 someones may have written it worse than you. And one of those may have made a lot of money off that idea, and that does not mean that you can't write your version of it. I mean, I could write a story about a giant rabid dog terrorizing somebody trapped in a car, and it would be nothing like Cujo. I'm not going to, because I have no interest in writing that book unless someone wants to pay me a bucket of money to write it. In that case, I will become very interested very quickly. But don't sweat whether or not your ideas are going to be corrupted. What you should worry about is not having a clue what is being sold in the genres you're trying to work in. Because if you have no idea what is selling right now, then you may write the exact same book that 10 other people have published this year, and then you will have a harder time selling it. You may write a book that feels like something that everybody read 5 or 6 years ago. If you all of a sudden decide that you wanted, let's say 15 years ago, you thought that dystopian young adult science fiction would be exactly the book you wanted to write. Well, you were a couple of years late to the party because there was a glut of dystopian YA science fiction at that time. And if you pay attention to the genres you want to work in, you'll know where the glut is. You'll know where the holes are, and you'll know if your stuff feels super similar to something else that's gotten a ton of attention. I would not suggest writing a lit RPG series about a guy with a talking cat and a computer with a foot fetish right now, because Dinneman did that and he did it really well and he's sold a lot of books. So you really should read in the genres that you're working in to avoid the pitfalls and so that you don't feel like everything that was great was already written 30, 40, 50 years ago. If you want to write sword and sorcery, you need to be reading Mark Lawrence and Joe Abercrombie, not old Michael Moorcock and not Robert E. Howard, because you need to know where the genre is today. Yes, you can absolutely read Moorcock and Howard and Lieber and everyone else that you like, but stay current with the genre as well. Number 3, I will read one book on the craft or business of writing this year. I have not yet published a book on the craft or business of writing, so this one will be not at all self-serving. You really should be studying writing and not just watching this channel, which I do think gives some solid tips. If I didn't think this information was useful, I wouldn't waste the time shooting these videos, and I wouldn't waste my marketing director's time editing them, and I certainly wouldn't be replying to your comments. So while watching this channel, I believe, is helpful to your craft and your business acumen, there are a lot of really great books on writing and on the writing business that you should be at least cracking into. On Writing is one of my favorites by Stephen King. It's half autobiography and half how Stephen King writes a book, or how Stephen King wrote a book 40 years ago when that book came out. Probably not quite 40, but close. The Writer's Journey is another really good book on the craft of writing, and it's a good analysis of the hero's journey and how to incorporate that style and those story beats into your work and into your career. Oh, yeah, Save the Cat or Save the Cat Writes a Novel. I've done a video that's coming soon on Save the Cat and the beat sheet that Blake Snyder created for that. It's a very good dissection of how to build a plot. It helped me. It's helped a lot of writers that I know. It's not perfect. No writing instruction manual or YouTube channel is. But there's a lot in there that you can glean. And another one of my favorites is Goal, Motivation, and Conflict by Deborah Dixon. It is absolutely a craft book, but it breaks the work down into very, very linear, very workman-like chunks, which I appreciate. It fits well with the way my brain works. And I highly recommend any or all of those books. But you have to study to get better. And you have to do to get better. I will read at least one book this year in a genre I have no interest in writing. Maybe you don't like traditional romance novels. Read one anyway. Maybe you don't like epic fantasy. Read one anyway. Maybe you don't like urban fantasy or poetry. Read something outside of your wheelhouse. Expanding your horizons as a reader expands your skill set as a writer. Especially reading and studying poetry will teach you how to say a lot with very few words, as opposed to many writers I know who say a lot of words and actually don't say anything. Reading and studying poetry will help you figure out what words you really need. Be careful though. You read and write too much poetry and then you end up being too tight. So it's a fine line. But you need to read outside your genre as well as in it. Number 5, I will attend one workshop, conference, convention, or critique group to focus on my career this year. Needless to say, I think that the Saga Genre Fiction Writers Conference in Charlotte, March 6th through 8th, with guests of honor Elle Marie Wood and Jeffrey Deaver, is where all of you should be. It's the one I run, and it's the one where I'll be that weekend, along with a lot of the people from Falstaff and other friends of mine who are professional writers. But you could also join us at Con Carolinas at the very end of May, 1st of June. You can join us at DragonCon. DragonCon has not just panels, but they have whole multi-day workshops led by Jody Lynn Nye or Mike Stackpole that you can sit in a room and just download information from geniuses in the field. Or you can go to a ton of panels and meet other brilliant writers and me. But you have to study. I know. You thought you were done with that, right? You got your BA or your master's or your high school diploma or your GED or whatever, and you thought you were done. You're not. You have to keep learning. And not only are conferences and conventions really good places for you to get knowledge, they're also really good places for you to grow your network and grow your community of fellow writers. I think it's very helpful for writers to find a group of people who are all at about the same level. Then you can grow together and you can share your successes, you can share your challenges, and you find that network at conferences, at critique groups, at conventions. We're building in networking events into Saga to teach introverted fledgling writers how to meet people. Not like a pickup line, gross kind of meet people, but how to actually talk to human beings and build a career through networking. So there's a link down in the description for Saga, of course, but find something near you that fits what you're trying to learn how to do and go there. And number 6, I will subscribe to this YouTube channel. I will like all the videos. I will ring the bell to get notified, and I will leave a comment and tell all my friends about this channel. And if I want to have my name featured in the list at the end of the video, I'll become a member. It's YouTube. You knew that was coming, right? And they're not joking. All those channels that say that like 75% of the people who watch the videos aren't subscribed, I always thought that was BS until I started having enough subscribers to pay attention to the metrics. They're not kidding. Like 70 to 75% of y'all aren't subscribed. So click the little button. I'll wait. But the final real resolution that I have for you is I will write something outside of my norm this year. It can be anything. It could be an essay. It could be a poem. It could be a short story. It could be a limerick. Please don't make it a limerick. It could be anything. You've heard me talk about A.J. Hartley. You should check out his channel as well. It's really good. Well, A.J. is a novelist. And A.J. doesn't typically write short stories. But this year, he did a short story for an upcoming anthology that we're publishing. That stretches and works muscles in his brain that aren't accustomed to being used. I'm working on a serial killer book that has no supernatural elements. That's a very different beast for me. um, I mean, there are no non-human monsters. That's a big shift for me. But also, I'm learning how to plot a thriller without the inherent deus ex machina of my protagonists have superpowers. So I'm learning to plot a thriller very differently. So you should write something different from what you usually write. It will make you better when you go back to what you're accustomed to doing. All right, those are the resolutions that I'm offering up to you for 2026. What other writing resolutions do you have? Tell me in the comments. I don't really care what your other resolutions are, but if you want to leave those, that's fine. Start a whole conversation down there. It's cool. Go for it. Knock yourself out. I mean, I am resolving to see more live music in 2026. I love music, and I have seen precious little of it live in recent years because of time and money. So I'm resolving to go to more concerts, in more dive bars, and see more of the bands that I dig. And if anyone wants to gift me tickets to the Nine Inch Nails tour, I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm not paying that kind of money. Because, decent seats for that, we're starting at like $300, and that's a little much for your average mid-list writer. All right, I hope you all had a great holiday. I hope that your 2026 kicks off with a bang, and not the kind that sees you Frodo yourself. So be careful, and I will see you soon. Bye.